Disappeared in 1991 and appeared in 2021, The Curious Case of Mr Gorgos. A 63-year-old cattle seller from rural Romania vanished in a thin air 30 years ago. Due to the nature of his profession, the man, who lived in the countryside, often went on business trips to various cities in Romania to sell his cattle, but every time he would get back home in a matter of days. In 1991, Mr Gorgos decided it was time for another business trip. He bought himself a train ticket, as usual, and told his wife and kids he'd be back in a few days. That was the last time his family saw him. The family reported his disappearance to the police, but nothing ever came out of it, so they eventually assumed the man had met with foul play and held a memorial service in his honor. Fast forward to August 2021, on a Sunday evening, a car stops in front of the Gorgos family house and drops off Vasila, who is now aged 93. Unfortunately, the few neighbors who witnessed the scene were too shocked and can't remember the car's plate number or how the driver looked. Anyway, it needs to be pointed out that Mr. Gorgos was the only person who got out of the car. The driver never set a foot out of the vehicle. Strangely enough, the man had on him the same pants he was wearing the day he vanished, and in his pockets the family found not only his ID card, but also the train ticket he had bought 30 years ago. Everybody who knew him had noticed that Mr. Gorgos was looking pretty great. He was clean, well-kept, and in good health, which meant that in all these years he had been very well taken care of. The only issues he's having seem to be neurological in nature. More precisely, Mr. Gorgos remembers his family. Edit: some articles claim that he doesn't remember his family either, but is clueless about his whereabouts in the past 30 years. When asked by reporters and family members where he had been all these years, he replied candidly, "I was home." I would have loved to put in more details, but this is all I've got so far. The news story just broke. Story 2. It's been 4 years, and despite viral CCTV evidence, no one has found the Putney Bridge jogger who seemingly randomly and without provocation pushed a woman into the path of a moving bus and then calmly continued jogging. In May of 2017, a woman was walking on a pedestrian walkway over the Putney Bridge in London when an unknown male jogger running in the opposite direction pushed her forcefully into the path of an incoming bus. He continued jogging calmly without any pause or change in pace, while she fell backwards into the road. In a great demonstration of skill, the bus driver managed to avoid hitting her by swerving a split second before impact. The bus stopped, and people poured out to help her. Bizarrely and brazenly, the jogger eventually proceeded to jog the opposite side of the bridge, where the victim confronted him. He ignored her. The CCTV footage of the attempted murder went viral, and photos of the man circulated on the internet. During the course of the year-long investigation, several people were arrested for the crime. None were charged. Despite public interest in the case, the police closed it in 2018 after the leads dried up. 2 things about this case bother me. 1. What was this man's motive for this unprovoked attack? 2. Despite the widely circulated video and photographic evidence, how is it possible that no friends or family of this guy recognized him and decided to report him? I read a fun conspiracy theory online that the man was an assassin who clearly targeted the woman and made it seem random. More likely, in my opinion, the man was schizophrenic or otherwise mentally ill and felt compelled to push the women into traffic. An alternative theory put forth by a body language expertise that the man may have felt entitled to his side of the road and may have been annoyed that she had encroached it. I clearly need to do some more reading on mental illnesses. Shouldn't have carelessly thrown out that theory. Apologies for perpetuating the stigma.